Hi friends, my name is Faye and you're watching Mystery Date with a Book. Okay, today we're talking about books with competition in them. I love competitions in books, especially in books. But in real life, I'm also a very competitive person. I love competing, and even though I don't always win, so I like competing and I will do my best to win in whatever I'm doing. So, what we're gonna do here is go through a few of my recommendations for books with competitions, but they're not in any order, okay? I'm not gonna say which one was the best, which one's my least favorite, because it all depends on your taste, okay? On your reading taste. So I'm just gonna give you a few recommendations. We're just gonna go through them. Right, the first one, just to get it out of the way, because it's an obvious one, is, let me show you, is obviously Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I love this book. I freaking love this. It's so good. This is so much better than the film adaptation. Let me tell you. It's my favorite book in the series. This and the very last one. It's a tie there. But anyway, the Goblet of Fire, this is where the story gets really dark. And this is where we have the Triwizard Cup. It's a competition. It's amazing. Harry competes against other schools, not just other students, but other schools. We get to see Fleur Delacour from Beauxbaton, is that right? And Victor Crumb from Durmstrang? Anyway, we get to see other magical schools as well from around Europe, and they come into Hogwarts and there's a competition, and I love it because it's so good. And I'm not gonna give you any spoilers, because just in case, if you haven't read this yet, I don't know what you've been doing with your life, but yes, just in case you haven't read it yet, I'm not gonna give you any spoilers, so yeah, just go and read it, please. It's an obvious choice, Harry Potter. Okay, and the next recommendation I have for you is a middle grade, okay? Harry Potter is a middle grade as well, but just bear with me. Middle grades can be really good, okay? So, this one is Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. This has become a favorite of mine. I love this series. There's Nevermore, then there's Wondersmith. I have a review for Wondersmith. I'm gonna link it up there for you. And the third book is coming out in August, just so you know. Just a side note. Nevermore. This book is about Morrigan Crow. I call her Mog. People in the book call her Mog. I didn't just make it up. So anyway, Mog is a very unlucky child. She brings bad luck to her little village, and on her 11th or 12th birthday, I can't remember which, 11th birthday, yes, on her 11th birthday, she is meant to die. It's just what happens to unlucky children. They die on their 11th birthday. It's a non-fact. So, on her 11th birthday, Mog gets a surprise. She doesn't die. It's not a spoiler, okay? There's a whole series about Mog. So, if she died in the first chapter, then there would be no series. There would be no book. So, here we go. Mog gets taken away by this wonderful character, one of my favorite characters of all time. His name is Jupiter North. Is it Jupiter North? I think it is. He's amazing. He's on the back cover here. I don't know if you can see him, but oh my goodness, he takes her away to Nevermore, and there's a competition there to see if she's worthy of getting into their society, of their, mystery, magical society. I'm not gonna give any spoilers. Yeah, it's so good. Honestly, if you like competition, if you like middle grade, if you like a bit of magic in your life, read Nevermore. It's so good. So good. Now, I've probably hyped it too much, and now you're gonna read it and be disappointed, but just read it, please. Yeah, it's good. Trust me, it's good. Okay, now the next book I have to recommend for you is a YA book. It's Throne of Glass. I'm gonna put it up here because I've unhauled that book. I decided not to carry on with the series. I have a whole rant video about Empire of Storms, I think that's what it's called. I'm gonna put it up there as well for you. I did not like book number 5. No. But the first 4 books are amazing, and the first one, Throne of Glass, there's a competition in it, and they want to see if this girl is good enough to be the king's assassin. If she gets to win that competition against other assassins, then she will become the king's assassin, and all her past criminal activities will be forgiven. But she will be tied to the king. She will be, she'll have to serve him for the rest of her life, I think it is, or a few years. I can't remember now, it's been a while, it's been a few years since I've read it. So even though I didn't really like the series, I mean, the end of the series, I think it went from YA to adult in the middle of the series, and I don't like it when that happens. There were too many graphic sex scenes in it, and I wasn't that, I mean, that's, it's not what I signed up for, okay? If I knew it was an adult book, then yeah, that's fine, but that's for YA, you know, it's being advertised to 13-year-olds, and they don't need to know that much detail. Anyway, that's a whole rant video, go watch it. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into that right now. So, Throne of Glass, the first book, it's really, really good. If, you know, if you don't mind going from YA to adult books in the same series, go for it. Sorry, it's by Sarah J. Maas. I forgot to say that. I keep forgetting to mention who the author is. And you know, after all of their work, after all their hard work to put a book out there, I don't even mention their name. That's really bad. I'm sorry. It's by Sarah J. Maas. Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. There you go. Okay, now this next one is a recommendation. It's YA as well. I've just noticed mostly YA and middle grade here. Anyway, bear with me. This is a book that has had a film adaptation 2 years ago? 3 years ago? 2 or 3 years ago. Anyway, it's been a while. And the film adaptation did not do this book any justice. It's alright. The film is alright, but the book is amazing. And I'm talking about Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Now, this book is really, really good. It's amazing. See, I don't want to give you any spoilers, but at the same time, I want to tell you what the book is about. So this is really hard, you know, recommending books without giving spoilers away. So bear with me. I'm sorry if I spoil anything for you. Ready Player One. It's set in the near future, where everyone basically is hooked up to this computer system where they play, they go to school there, they work there, and they have their own currency. It's a whole other world in this virtual system, okay, in this virtual world. You get to live your whole life there, basically, because real life, as we know it, has gone down. Okay, I'm gonna keep this video very PG. Yeah, things aren't great. So people, you know, are starving, they're struggling, they're living one on top of each other, literally, and it's just horrible. So everyone escapes from reality by going into this virtual world. And let me tell you, there's a competition in this one as well. So the creator of this virtual reality life world, he has passed away, but he left a will saying that whoever wins this competition, you know, whoever solves this treasure hunt of sorts, gets to win his whole company. So they will be in charge of the whole company. They're going to be incredibly rich and famous and blah blah blah. So this boy here, we get to follow him. What's his name? I don't know what his name is. Anyway, I can't remember. It's been a while, guys. So this boy knows everything about the creator of that world, and he solves the clues by knowing that much, things that normal people wouldn't usually know, because the creator, I know this is very confusing, I'm trying not to give any spoilers. The creator, the guy who died, he lived his life, and he grew up in the 80s or 70s or 80s, I think it's 80s, and so most of his clues are based back in that time, and this boy knows a lot about that because he has done his research. He's a real fan of this man, and not many people remember the 80s, and so the clues just go over people's heads, like they don't know what they're talking about. But this boy has a real edge in that competition, but that doesn't mean he's the only one. He's not the only one with a chance there, and it's just such a wonderful book, honestly. If you like competitions, and maybe if you grew up in the 80s, if you remember the 80s, like I don't remember the 80s, like I was just a baby, so I don't know what was going on there, but if you remember the 80s, if you grew up back then, this is very nostalgic. This has, you know, things from the 90s. The 90s I remember. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave this out there. It's a brilliant book, so much better than the film adaptation, and I want you to read this. That's all I'm gonna say. Read Ready Player One because it's good. Okay, now my last recommendation for you is one of my favorites. So good. It's so engaging. It sets your creativity, your imagination on fire. It's amazing. It is Warcross by Mary Lou. Now, the sequel to this, Wildcard, was not as good, okay? Let's just ignore that sequel. It never happened. No, that doesn't exist. Let's ignore it. But Warcross is brilliant. It's based on this virtual reality game as well, much like Ready Player One, but it's a game, okay? People don't live in it, but it does affect every aspect of people's lives. Everyone gets certain points depending on what they do, depending on where they are, or what, you know, depending on their lifestyle, they get lots of points on a daily basis. And your status in society is linked to how many points you have. So if you're a criminal, if you're running away from the law, you're trying to live off-grid, you're not gonna have any points, or you're gonna have very low points. And so, you know, you're going to be seen, it's very obvious, you can just look at a person, see how many points they have, you're gonna be seen as, you know, the lowest of the low there, if you don't have that many points. With those points, you can, you know, you get status, you get fame, you get opportunities, you get to buy things with those points as well. It's brilliant. It's an amazing system that Mary Lou came up with. I was amazed when I read this book. I devoured it in one go. It was, I think it was 2 days. 2 days that I read this book. It was just amazing, okay? It was brilliant. I loved it. The point system, I wish this was reality, honestly. And, sorry, there's a competition. Going back to competitions, that's what this video is all about. Focus. So, there's a competition. And our main character, this girl, I can't remember what her name is. She has pink hair. Remember that. She has pink hair. She's lovely. She hacks into the Warcross, into this game, during the final of this world competition. There's a championship around the world. The best teams all around the world come to Japan to compete in this final. And our girl hacks into the game. She appears into the game and then she comes back out. So the owner of Warcross, the creator of the game, he gets in touch with this girl and asks her to help him with something, okay? There's this big competition and it's amazing. I'm not gonna give any spoilers away. I don't want to ruin this for you. Just go read it, please. It's amazing, and there's lots of glare. It's such a beautiful cover, but I'm not sure if you can see it properly because of the glare. Anyway, this is amazing. Go read this book because it's great. So these are my recommendations for you, plus Throne of Glass, which I unhauled, but you know what it looks like. So yes, books with recommendations, mainly middle grade and YA. But you know what? There's no age limit to books. Hooray! You can read whatever you want at any stage of your life. So if you like this video, you know what to do. Give it a like, subscribe, click the bell, leave a comment. Have you read any of these books? Do you know any they're falling and they're going everywhere. Do you know? Have you read any of these books? Or do you know any other books with competitions? Let me know. Please recommend me books with competitions because I love them. Yes, so that's it for today, guys. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.